What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
All right, here we go. Episode 151 of the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. 7-time NBA champion and notably younger than Ty Lue. Robert Ory. Where did this picture go? We were talking before the show started. You said there was a picture of you and Ty Lue.
Ty Lue came to Christian's playoff game the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, yeah, he came and to watch them play. And it was so weird. I saw a picture of us. And I'm like, Ty Lue got a lot of gray hair. I said, does that mean I look younger than him? Then I realized he has a lot of fucking stress.
Dude, he's got to deal with James Harden, Paul George, Russ. I mean, I would have gray hair too. I mean, he's got too much going on. What did he come to the game for? Just to support Chris, or was he scouting, or what was he doing?
Just came to support Chris. You know, Ty Lue,
awesome.
when we was talking, he loves to go watch basketball. He loves to go watch high school. He loves to watch, college. So he said he just loves basketball. I said, you're a lot better than me, because when Chris is done playing high school, next high school game I'm attend might be Cade, my grandson. But other than that, I ain't going.
No, sir.
You hoping that you can move along with him to college if he goes to a specific school.
Yeah. Well, college is different, but I'm saying as far as like high school, I love watching college basketball. I love watching, when guys are, they trying to get somewhere. They trying to get that money.
Right.
So they play with, it's a different type of passion they play with,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm college sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the NFL, but I love college football. Because college football, man, you're playing for pride and passion. And now, I mean, I used to be like you were trying to get your next check, but now it's like freaking with NIL. Forget it, man. You just get paid staying in college, dude.
I know, right?
What'd you do for the big game? You guys just hanging out?
I just said, I got to a point where I love watching the Super Bowl on TV because I have commercials. I love the commercials. But this year, I was like,
they were trash.
I was a little disappointed.
There were a few good ones.
Disappointed in the commercials.
I thought the Schwarzenegger Neighbor.
That was fun.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The Dunkin' Donuts one with Ben Affleck.
That was all right.
J-Lo was all right.
That was okay.
Yeah.
I want to know how Verizon got Beyonce in a commerciol.
I know, right?
Beyonce, they spent bank on that, man.
Yeah.
Because they had Jason Momoa in a commercial too. So yeah, they spent money on cameos.
They rates are the highest, so they know they got the money.
They're getting my freaking money. They might as well.
It's funny. I think they did that because they said, you collab with Beyonce during Super Bowl. She can announce her songs that are dropping. It was kind of cool though. She did the Lemonade Stand. I think one of the most popular albums there was Lemonade. So it was cool though. I liked it. And who doesn't like looking at Beyonce?
No, that's a fact. It's just when you see her in.
I'm not going to frame it that way, but yeah, I got you.
It's just, it was a surprise, And it was ironic because obviously she dropped her a couple of songs prior to the Super Bowl, and I didn't put two and two together. The way she was dressed at the Grammys was like a cowgirl. The songs that she just dropped are more of a country-like now. And she's dressed like it's kind of like a line dance type of song. I ain't put two and two together until she dropped her song. So she was telling people things while at the Grammys without necessarily telling them.
I was wondering what was with the cowboy hat and the get-up at the Grammys.
It's a reflection of where she's going with the next phase.
It didn't feel very Beyonce.
Yeah, it's Beyonce. Beyonce at this point can do whatever she want to do and make it feel Beyonce.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey, what's the one kid that he did it? The rapper, what's his name?
Lil Nas X.
Yeah, he did it. So,
get the little country blend in there.
Well, he had that.
I did think it was funny the Grammys that Jay-Z got up there and accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award. And was like, how come my wife's never won Album of the Year? Like, what is that shit? Like, he just called the Grammys out. And he's getting an award from the Grammys. He called them out for, like, she's been nominated 4 times. She ain't never won.
You can do that when you have FU money.
He got
FU money, so he
don't
can
care.
do that.
The Grammy's going to do ignore me? Good luck. Have fun with that. Yeah.
Right. We're not doing it.
So, speaking of the Super Bowl, good game. Man, good game. Back and forth the whole way.
Got better as it went on, yeah.
It did. It started a little slow. Kansas City couldn't find their groove in the first half much at all. But you knew You knew the whole time Patrick Mahomes was going to charge back in the second half. It's literally his calling card. It's what he does. And he did it. He got it done. And as soon as they got the ball in overtime, I was like, watch this. Watch him drive all the way down and score and win this game. Not kick a field goal to tie it. Watch him drive down and score and win this game. Sure enough, man. They pulled out all the stops, and Kansas City got it done. They got their dynasty. Everybody was kind of crapping on Tony Romo for the call, for stepping all over Jim Nantz.
Yeah, he talked too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will give you what I thought was the best call, and it was from who I will argue has the best call 90% of the time.
Kevin Harlan?
Kevin Harlan's call on Westwood One was freaking out of control. Here's Kevin Harlan with the call of the Super Bowl win.
First and goal at the 3. Lining up in the clock at 10 seconds and ticking. In the shotgun, Mahomes. 4-man front, receiver in motion, low snap. He runs and he throws, caught, touchdown. It's caught. Hardman caught the ball. The Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have won. The entire bench empties. Chasing Mahomes in the end zone. Their third Super Bowl in 5 years. The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It is a dynasty. The Chiefs have won Super Bowl 58, 25-22 in overtime.
Yeah, that's the consummate professional. I'm sorry.
The best.
He is the freaking best, man. Put Kevin Harlan on
question,
everything.
you guys. What determines a dynasty?
I can give you my definition, but I don't know if it's accurate. It's if you win 3 in probably less than 7 years.
Yeah.
Like 3's the number for me. 2's not a dynasty. 3, but 3 within. 3 in 5 years is what the Chiefs have done. That's dynasty level to me. That's like Golden State Warriors, But I don't know. Do you think you have to win more than 3?
No, but I do think there has to be a back-to-back somewhere.
Yes.
I think there has to be like with y'all, Rob, y'all won 3 straight. So that was easy. That's easy. The last time a team in the NFL had won back-to-back championships was the 03-04 Patriots. It had been 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's your definition?
I don't know because, I look at when you look at a dynasty, I think the Bulls were a dynasty.
Oh,
they won what? Yeah, they were a
6.
dynasty from that.
90s,
6. And then everybody said the Lakers were a dynasty. I'm like, well, the Kareem era was a dynasty. We only won 3, and then
y'all won 3 in a row.
Yeah, but is that a dynasty? To me,
Yeah.
I feel like you have. When I look at dynasties, I look at a 10-year period. And if you dominated in that 10-year period where you won, it don't have to be from 2000, 2010. It could be 2002 to 2012. It's just a 10-year period. I feel like in that 10 years, what did you do?
Okay.
What did you do as a team? Did you win championships? How many championships did you win in that 10 years period? Don't win 3 over here, take 5 years off, then win 2 over here. It's like I don't know. That's the whole question. I don't know what
get your point, though.
defines a dynasty.
Like a three-peat for the Lakers, and then it kind of starts to fall off for a while.
You went to 4 in 5 years.
I did.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah, I did.
No, the
Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
exactly what the Chiefs did. They went to 4 in 5 years. They won 3 of them.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. That's what I'm asking. That's what I don't know. What determines a dynasty? Because
I guess you're right. Is 5 years enough of a sample size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a dynasty?
If I go to 4 in 5 years and I win 3 and I win a back-to-back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because think about it like this. Let's take the Lakers, for example. Let's take the 10 years from 2000 to 2010.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers, obviously, from 2000 to 2002, y'all won 3. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you miss it in 03. You go back in 04. Obviously, you have that middle. The Lakers then go back in
08.
They win in.
It was 08, 09. Yeah,
right. They lost in 08. So they went to 3 straight again, 08, 09, and 2010 because they won in 09 and 2010. Yeah. So you're talking about what?
So that's
7?
a dynasty.
Yeah.
See, now that's a dynasty.
But see, the thing that's weird about that though is you look at that dynasty and it was it was the Shaq Kobe years, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit, and then it was the Kobe Powell years toward that. Now Kobe's the constant in there. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The fact that the team changed its dynamic so much from one grouping of championships.
I just always want to know who determines the dynasty and how many games, because you think about it in sports now. You think about you call the Golden State Warriors a dynasty. You call the Bulls. You call the Lakers. You call the Patriots. And who else we call?
The Chiefs now. Everybody's crowned the Chiefs. So how many teams have we ever determined as a dynasty in the sports world? You know what I mean? Not a ton. The Spurs were a dynasty.
Yeah, Spurs were a dynasty.
I mean, but did the Spurs ever win a back-to-back?
No.
I don't think they did. They were all separated by a year, weren't they?
Yeah, because I was 05, and we should have won in 06, and then we lost we won in 07. So.
Right. And previously it had been like every other year.
It's like every other year they win. Yeah. So. But
dynasty still, right?
Yeah. So
you won every other 5. You won 5 over that run over the course of 9 years?
Yeah. So it's just weird how, and you think about that dynasty, the constant was Tim Duncan. The constant was, Manu and Tony. It's always, Manu and Tony wasn't on that 99 championship though, but it's always weird how when you say a dynasty, you always have one player that's always a constant on those teams. Well, in the Bulls case, you had 2, but there's always like someone that's a constant. So are we considering the Golden State Warriors a dynasty?
They won how many?
4.
Yeah, 4? But they won.
Over
the first one was 2015.
7?
4 was 7.
Over 7 years, I think they won 4. Yeah, I think so. Only because too, and I'm with you. I think a lot of it, what classifies the dynasty thing too, is a grouping of players staying together throughout it, either coaches or players. Now, granted, the Patriots turned over a lot of staff, but you always had Belichick, you always had Brady.
Yep,
those were the constants. The Lakers, like we talked about, you always had Kobe, you always had Jordan and Pippen, you always had Steph, Draymond, and Clay. Whether anyone was injured or hurt without that mix, those 3 and Kerr, those were all part of that grouping there.
Right.
So I think with Mahomes, Kelsey, and Andy Reid,
so
now you're starting to kind of,
Can we add like a little joke and a little asterisk that they're not really a dynasty because they added KD? I think KD left.
No, they're still a dynasty.
I'm kidding.
They won before him and they won after him.
I'm going to define it for you.
But if they only won when he was there, would you call the Heat a dynasty when LeBron was there?
No.
They won 2. They got to what? I think 4? They got to 4.
Yeah, went to 4.
But they won 2.
Right.
Yeah.
But they weren't there prior to. I mean, they were there 06, but prior to LeBron getting there, and then prior to him, after him leaving, there was a chunk of time where they weren't really.
They lost the bookend years, and then they won the 2 years in between.
Right.
Because they did go back to back. I think they went back to back.
But I wouldn't call that run a dynasty.
I say I'm gonna define it for me.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3 titles. In a 5, at least in a 5 to 6 year span.
Okay, so you're tight in that window.
Well, if I'm looking at it from a 5 to 6 year span,
you grading hard, brother.
Yeah.
No,
like
but
most people in a 10-year span, you grading hard.
Keep in mind too, though, it's not always about winning; it's also about being there. So it's like you're gonna have years where maybe you don't get the job done, but you were there for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dude, that's like going to a steakhouse and not able to get food, man. No, I'm like, that don't count if you get there.
Yeah, but in the span of a dynasty, if you win 3, but you're there 4 or 5 times.
That's not too tight of a window, because if you look at every dynasty that we've talked about, it's been at least either being there or winning it 3 over a 5 or 6 year span. Look at every dynasty that we've talked about.
Well, no, all of those have won like maybe 6 or 7. You talked about 5. Let's say 5.
Spurs
half the 10
won
years.
5. Bulls won 6.
Yeah.
Lakers won 5.
I'm just saying that's the least, and then you build from there. But my thing is, 3 within a 6 year span. That's a dynasty.
That's a beginning of a dynasty.
No, that is a dynasty. And anything else you add onto that, you add into your dynasty.
Yeah.
Here's maybe where it qualifies, and for the Chiefs for me. The Chiefs didn't have a great year.
No.
They really didn't. They barely won their division.
Struggled.
Then they beat the Dolphins, who were vaulted as Dolphins are going to make a run this year. Beat the Dolphins. Went on
the coldest game ever.
In the coldest game ever. Went on the road and beat Baltimore in Baltimore. and then took down the Niners in a back-and-forth game in the Super Bowl. So
all number ones.
None of those were easy. None of those wins were going to be easy for the Chiefs, no matter how good they were, and they were in a down year.
And part of that down year, because what we talked about was their receiving core. They dropped more passes than any team in football. They had the worst receiving core in all of football. I think Pat Mahomes is going to relish this title a lot more just because of everything. And he didn't have a great year. He had an average year, for Pat Mahomes.
But
and
what did he
still
do?
Won.
In the three biggest games of the year, he was Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And in those games, you know what he did? He used his legs. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing to me. When a quarterback who's known for throwing, all of a sudden you can rip 10, 15, 20 yards off. It puts the defense on their heels like, oh, crap, he's going to run again because he's trying to take over. Next thing you know, he done hit you with a touchdown pass. So yeah, that's one thing I loved about certain quarterbacks, when they can just sit in the pocket and throw it, but then when they have to use their legs, they can use their legs. Yeah.
I'm going to say this now, and I think some people believe this, and this is not just a knee-jerk reaction. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
No. In the conversation, maybe.
I think Tom Brady.
It's too early. It's too early in his career.
I know it's not too early in his career because of what he's accomplished in such a short time in his career. We haven't seen that from any quarterback ever. Tom Brady didn't really. The reason why I say that is because Tom may be the most accomplished, but remember at the beginning of Tom's career, Tom was a game manager. That defense did it for him. I'm not taking anything away from Tom. Because he became the – no, I'm not. I'm not. But if we're starting to talk about the greats, when we start to compare them, then we really start to dig deep into how these things came about. When Pat Mahomes started, the day that he started, he was the man. He was never a game manager. He was the man as soon as he stepped foot on that field. And he's been the man ever since. This is the only year where his defense has really been top 5, top 6. Those other 2 title years, it was all offense, and the defense made plays when needed, but they were middle of the pack.
That defense last year was pretty damn good, dude.
They weren't the defense this year.
Same defense, ain't it?
No, but they got better. Numbers-wise, ranking-wise, they got better.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it's just too early to put the greats on people. I know they put up a stat
now,
when
they showed
Tom Brady's stats and his stats, but then you can roll over to let's say take Michael Jordan stats, and then you take Ant-Man stats. Ant-Man stats are better than Michael Jordan stats through his first 4 or 5 years. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
Does that really mean Ant-Man is better than MJ? It's so you can't really just take that small sample.
We're talking about stats, not just stats. We're talking about winning too.
I know what you're saying. Winning too. Yeah, winning makes a big deal, because think about it. For a long time, we were looking at, certain quarterbacks and we're like, oh, let's just take Peyton Manning, one of the greatest game managers, one of the great passers. But we never considered him one of the greatest because he hadn't won titles.
Yeah, we do. Who don't consider him?
He only won 2.
But I'm just saying, you never call him like the GOAT. Nobody ever calls him the GOAT.
No, he's
one
not
of the
in that
best
conversation.
quarterbacks we ever
seen in greatest.
Yeah, but he's not in that. I think Mahomes can be the greatest quarterback of all. I really do. I mean, and I'm not shortchanging.
I say the same thing.
I'm not shortchanging your argument. He is incredible. I think that I saw it yesterday, and I don't know if it was accurate or not, but he's never not played in an AFC Championship game. Every year he's been in the league, he's been in the AFC Championship
He's only
game.
started 6 seasons.
Right.
He's 27.
Right. And he's 28 years old, and he's won 3 Super Bowls. He's been in 4, and he's never not been in the AFC title game. So I'm not taking anything away from that. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Think about this.
If he continues that trajectory, then he's definitely could be the greatest.
I have to ask this question. Why is it that, you look at some of the best quarterbacks ever, they have some of the worst bodies ever? I'm like, did you see Pat Mahomes? He said, come on, what y'all doing with the dad bod? It's just like, and then you look at Brady, I'm like, you look like you blowing him here a break. You look at Eli, like Peyton Manning. It's like, why are these guys so damn good when they don't have a quote unquote typical athletic body?
Because all I got to do is be able to I got to be able to throw the ball, and I got to be able to read the defense. It doesn't take an amazing body to do that.
Let me give you the one.
But I'm just saying, though, to take those licks, though, it seemed like you would have to have, I guess, but I don't know. That's why I'm too scared to play football.
This is the one I couldn't get out of my head.
That's what he sound like. Kermit
the Frog with an afro is 100% Pat Mahomes.
He admitted it too.
I can't unsee it now. Every time, but it's like, all right. So Tom Brady, I just threw a quick Google on it. Tom Brady played in 10 Super Bowls. 10. Won 7. 10. I mean, Pat Mahomes has been in 4 already. He's on the path. And I think if he continues that way, yes, he's in the conversation.
But here's the key,
For me, it's really hard to look at Tom Brady and go,
but
he's not the best quarterback of all time.
Okay.
It's going to be very interesting to see if him and Kelsey can stay together.
No, Kelsey retired before. No, they're not going to be a stay together.
How many more years does Travis Kelsey got in him?
I think he got about 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah, probably.
But it's like, for me, you have to have that guy that's on the same page. That's one thing about Brady. He's had 4 or 5 guys that's always on the same page with him, that's able to bail him out because I know what he's thinking. If you look at this Kansas City game, this Chiefs, I would agree with you and say it's probably his best championship. He only has one guy on that team that can think like him, that can bail him out. All those other receivers are like, hey, I'm
that
open.
receiving corps
might drop it.
But
they're dreadful.
But that was developed. Just like when Travis leaves, he'll develop that with somebody else.
You hope.
Oh no, he will.
Hope so.
He will. He will.
Hey,
look.
But that's like taking away from what Kelsey can accomplish. Like, you got to think, you got to be a smart player.
True.
Just because you can develop that, don't mean the players you get, the organizers get, don't mean they're going to be smart enough to deal with what he
But
that's what
Tom Brady did well over his career, man. Now, granted, he always had guys like Gronkowski, but when you ended up with a guy like a Wes Welker, he turned Wes Welker into a freaking Pro Bowler, man.
Danny Amendola?
Danny Amendola, Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
So,
he's had those
rapport.
guys.
Yeah, he built rapport with those guys.
All I need is the one guy. And the one guy that remains the constant is Pat Mahomes. If I have Pat Mahomes, I have a chance every time, and he proved it this year. We didn't know any of it. He didn't have Tyreek Hill. He didn't have Juju. He had a bunch of guys. Hell,
who were lining up off sides half the time.
Kadarius Toney didn't even play. They didn't even trust him.
No, because they can't even trust him to line up on sides, man.
Guys emerged. Rashay Rice, number 4, emerged. Those guys emerged. You know why? Yeah. Because when I have Pat Mahomes, I got to step my game up. I got to be dependable. I need him to be able to depend on me because I know I can depend on him. I got 15. As long as I got 15, I got a shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do have NBA to talk about. We will get to it, I promise. But I mean, right now we're all coming off the Super Bowl. So Usher, what you think of Usher? Halftime show.
I loved it.
I'm from Atlanta, baby. You know I loved it.
Man, that was good. I will tell you 2 things I noticed about Usher in the halftime show. One, he didn't do a lot of singing. He sang, but there were chunks of time where there were other folks. He was dancing. He had the mic on. He wasn't doing nothing. He was and that man sweats. Holy shit. That man was just when
you move the way that he does and you perform nobody care about the singing.
Drenched.
The performance.
Yeah, no, the performance though, overall, I honestly, small thing. I love that he started it on the field. He wasn't up on some stage. He didn't have 95 platforms, and he got to the stage eventually, but that performance started the first good 5-6 minutes of it in the grass with just being Usher. And I was like, man, that was dope. That was just dope.
My favorite part was when Alicia Keys came out.
Oh, she's great, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, all kinds of Ludacris, Jermaine Dupri. I mean, all kinds of people popping out of the woodwork for that.
Yeah.
That was just a great.
He kind of followed the footsteps of Dre and all the people who kind of helped him have hit songs.
Which was great, though. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bring all them folks out.
Hey, but if it's me, I'm not even going to lie. It's just going to be all about me. I'm going to go the Riri route. No, it's all about me, baby.
I don't need anybody out here.
Nah, but I think the thing with Rihanna is a little different because she does have a lot of songs by herself. Whereas with Usher, a lot of his hits, and there's no disrespect to Usher, because he has a lot of hits by himself as well. But there are a lot of hits that people love. Like, it's not just him.
Oh, no. It's Lil Jon and everybody on that song. Ludacris.
I will say this. You know what I loved about Usher? He made sure they hit those iconic lines in a lot of his songs, even though he didn't perform them. Yeah. Like It's 7 o'clock on the dot. He just said that and moved on to another song. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that it's 7 o'clock on the dot.
Right.
I'm in the drop top.
Cruising
and then he just moved on.
Yep.
So I will give him credit. I loved it though. I loved it. I even rewound it so I could watch it again.
All right, a couple more quick notes on the Super Bowl. We're going to move on to Spencer Dinwiddie and trade deadline and Trae Young, and we got other stuff to talk about. But a couple quick notes. I know Harp had one thing on Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to mention that this was, of course, the most viewed Super Bowl of all time. It seems like every year they break their own record.
Yep.
But they busted it down. I mean, they trumped last year's Super Bowl by almost 7 million viewers, 123 million viewers, which represents about a third of all American households.
Right.
Which is just insane. And I am going to 100% attribute that to Taylor Swift. There were a lot of people, I promise you, that watched the Super Bowl because she was there. And again, she got less than a minute of screen time. So it was like she was all. But the fact that she played, and I showed B-Dog, or I told B-Dog this earlier, we talked about it before the show, the NFL actually put out a tweet last week with the basic rules of football. If you're new to football, here's how it works. You got 4 downs to go 10 yards. And, I mean, I've never in my life seen a professional sports franchise tweet out the basic rules of the sport. That's how much attention she's brought to the NFL this year.
Hey,
and they knew there's going to be people watching that don't know the game of football. They're going to watch it for her.
Apparently, they didn't tweet that to the 49ers because they didn't know the rules of halftime.
Here's how overtime works.
Yeah.
Well, shit, Mecole Hardman caught the game-winning touchdown for the Chiefs. And he was like, why is everybody mobbing me? What's going on? And they're like, the game's over. And he's like, what? I thought we were playing I thought we had more to go.
No.
He didn't even know he caught the game-winning touchdown.
I know. It's and to me, I when in overtime, I was explaining it to my wife, like, what? I said, yeah, the rules have changed. I said, for me, a basketball player to know the rules have changed, and for some football players not to know it,
They've been
I guess I
changed
watch
for
too
2
much
years.
TV.
It's been changed for 2 seasons.
Well, you should know that. Because it was from the Buffalo. I call it the Buffalo rule.
It's the Chiefs. It's the Mahomes and Josh Allen rule.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and it was only those 2 who came out and said they didn't know, because if it was most of your team who didn't know, then when you would have kicked that field goal to go up in overtime, 22-19, y'all would have ran off the field winning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of overtime, I got a bone to pick with one Kyle Shanahan.
Go for it.
As much as he is a boy genius and an offensive wizard, he had a quote, and how naive of him to make this quote. They coin flip, they decide to take the ball, right? Post game, he says, well, our strategy was we wanted to have the ball third, which means they score, hoping Kansas City kicks a field goal, and then they get the ball back to win again. Let me tell you something, Kyle Shanahan.
So he wants the walk-off opportunity.
You are going against my homeboy, Patty Mahomes, AR-15, if you want to call him that, because he is a sniper. What in the hell made you think that you were going to get the ball a third time after you didn't do what you needed to do the first? You kicked the field goal. You're the one that couldn't punch the ball in to put the pressure on them. Once that ball went through the uprights and it went 22-19, you just signed your death certificate, because Pat Mahomes ain't giving you that damn ball back. And that's exactly what happened. How naive of you to think that all-time great. Also,
he got if you look at his offense and look at who he has as receivers and he has a running back, I would took the ball first too to put the pressure on Kansas City. Plus, that was giving my defense more time to rest. But I see what you're saying when he said, I wanted to get it third. You don't say that shit. You said, I want the ball first to go down and score to put the pressure on him. That's what he should have said.
But you got to get the job done now.
You didn't.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You didn't.
And you put effectively what might have been the game-winning kick in the hands of a kicker who missed an extra point, an extra point blocked. That would have won the game. Mm-hmm. If it was blocked, but it was kicked low and off target.
It's the difference between a 3-point game and a 4-point game.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You forced Kansas City to drive down and score. The whole mentality of the game changed after that.
And my thing is, with 3, I knew for a fact Pat was at the least, because they got one of the best kickers in the league too, in Harrison Buckner, who's a Georgia Tech alum.
They set the record for the longest field goal, and it stood for 55 seconds. A record that stood for 20 years. And then Buckner came out and booted, was it 57-yard field goal?
57-yard field goal. So he was at least going to get him in field goal range at the least. But I said, he ain't giving this ball back. There's no way in the world. When he had that big fourth down run.
Isn't that easy to say afterwards? Because if you look, did Mahomes score at the end of the game?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Did he run it in? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, didn't he have to kick a field goal to send it in overtime?
Yeah, they kicked once in overtime.
But
that's all they needed.
But I'm saying, though, why did he need a touchdown to win it in regulation?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. He could have. Yeah,
so
they stalled out.
It's easy to say all this after we've watched it, because we have no idea. Who thought Christian McCaffrey was fumbling the ball down in the red zone?
Oh, that was early.
Who thought? I'm saying all these things happen.
Who thought the Niners would go 2 or 3 drives
3 of 12 on third down
and give McCaffrey the ball once?
I know.
Offensive player of the year, 1 carry through 2 or 3 drives, and I'm like.
Yeah, so
every time you fed him the football, he was getting 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. What are you doing?
Yeah, but it's just weird though. It's like this, but at the end of the day, this is a really good game, and I think if you watch it, Mahomes, everybody was sitting down. You gave Mahomes too much time. You gave Mahomes too much time.
That's exactly what I was like.
In the regulation, you gave him too much time.
He's got 2 minutes. He's going to tie the game. This is going over.
My whole point is, when you're as loaded as you are as the 49ers, but you have a rookie quarterback. Well, not a rookie. Well, yeah, a rookie quarterback. You can't.
He played the playoffs. He just got hurt one time.
No, that's fine. But you can't. Well, a rookie in Super Bowl wise.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't keep giving the ball back to Mahomes, hoping that you're going to get it back. As the game goes on, we've seen Mahomes in those type of situations in crunch times, and he's been successful. If you think in your mind that you're going to get the ball back in those moments, you must not know who you playing against. He's not. Eventually, he's not going to give it back.
No. Well, I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan hasn't necessarily been the king of good decisions in the Super Bowl.
3 Super Bowls where he's had the 10-plus point lead and lost.
Yeah. I mean, and I will tell you, Atlanta fans, man, they danced on his grave. They danced on his grave after that loss because they still blame him for Super Bowl 51. They still hang that shit on Kyle Shanahan, man, which is not wrong, because if you would have run the football and you would have run out the damn play clock instead of snapping the ball with 18 seconds left on the freaking play clock, you'd have left the Patriots no time to come back and win that game. So I get it. I get it. It's
clock management.
Not good at it. All right, we do have basketball to talk about. We've burned a lot of time on the Super Bowl, but it was the most watched sporting event in the history of mankind. So we're talking about. But what did you think about the Dinwiddie ad?
You know what? To me, I look at this Laker team. They've been riddled with injuries, and I'm trying to figure out where they're going to use them. Because when you make a trade, you get rid of someone, and they fill in that slot. It reminds me of when Rui first got to the Lakers. You remember when Rudy first got traded to the Lakers? He was playing all those minutes, averaging 20 points, and all of a sudden they were like, they put the brakes on him, and he disappeared for 3 months. And then, playoffs. What are you going to do with Dinwiddie? Whose spot is he going to take?
He's going to – I really see him backing up D-Lo. This isn't –
That's AR spot. See what I mean? This is what now you bringing in a guy that you're gonna and the back of them I said, we got a plan. Where are you gonna play him? Whose minutes are you gonna take?
Hold on, why do you have to play him?
Exactly. My point, everybody, I'm thinking about guys like Christian Wood, who when you put him in the game, he gets 10 rebounds, but you play him sparingly. You're gonna probably try to give his minutes away. Now you're gonna piss him off. Now you got some disruption in the locker room. Now you got Rui, who you've been fucking over all year with his minutes. He'll play good. Then he played 5. Look, sometimes you look at Rui, he's got 19 minutes to 20 points. And he's up and down with him. Now you're going to take away his minutes. Now you got a Max Christie who you've been developing, who's getting better and better. Now you're going to take away his minutes. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't see why you add him. I know he's a great player, but you're going to mess up the flow, because at the end of the day, coaches need to have a flow too. They need to have a rotation of how they're going to run their players in and out of the game. Now your rotation is messed up. And that's not even say if old boy they got from Miami comes back. That's going to mess it up even more. And you got to have some type of flow when it comes to playing a game. It's just can't be like, okay, I mean, just throw a bunch of mishmash guys out there. And then plus, all right, LeBron James is one of the most dynamic players that ever played this game, and it's hard to play with him. Now you're going to throw this guy, Dinwiddie, who's really not known for his defense. And if he doesn't play defense, AD's going to get upset, LeBron's going to say, but he still has to learn to play with these guys. And that's the hardest thing to do is to play with a guy that's one of the best players to ever play this game, and you haven't played with someone of his caliber. So it's a lot that goes into this. So I like Dinwiddie as a player. I love what he can do, but I don't see why they brought him in,
Well, I think part of the reason, and I'm not saying this is the whole reason, this is a little sliver of a reason. He's an LA guy.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's from LA, and you know how LA teams feel about, obviously, hell, the Clippers got 4 guys on their team from LA. I see what you're saying. Where are they going to play him? And this is a good issue to have in a sense because that means there's a level of depth that you have. This just adds to Darvin Ham's job and being able to find a consistent lineup.
See, that's just the thing, too. Darvin Ham has caught a lot of fire about fiddling with the Lakers lineup too much. And now you have a piece that you have to try to find a way to work in. Which means you're just going to continue to tweak and change and tweak and move this guy here and take minutes from this dude. And, oh, man, it spells disaster.
See what I mean? It's like when I look at teams sometimes, I think of when we had 4 All-Stars. We had Nick, Eddie, Shaq, Kobe. You can't have too many cooks in the kitchen, man, because they're sous chefs and they're chefs. And when they don't make, the meal gonna come out garbage, and I feel bad for Darvin right now because he got too many damn cooks, and he gonna have to figure this shit out.
Isn't this the same conversation though we had about the Clippers?
They figured it out.
They did.
They figured it out.
They found a way to make it work. Yeah,
because Russ said, you know what, I'm gonna do what's best for this team and help this team win, and you got to have a guy like that, because Russ still gonna get his minutes, and Norman Powell's still gonna get his minutes, and plus, you got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard who can play anybody on the fucking court. They can play anybody at any given moment. And the Lakers just don't have that. They have guys that, like Vando that can do it and Rui that can do it sometimes, but they don't have a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you, matter of fact, and to add kind of to this, did you see Dinwiddie's comments at his first presser?
Yeah,
about why he chose the Lakers over the Mavs.
I did not. Fill me in.
All right, so basically, I'm gonna paraphrase, but I'm gonna try to get it word for it. He said,
"I didn't even understand it."
Yeah, he said because because I try to be candid. He was like, it's like the Mavs are like your mom, where they want to coddle you and say, "Oh, baby, it's okay." Whoop de whoop. He said that the Lakers are like your dad that says, "Nah, you need to get your ass up and get out there and do it." And so. I guess with that in that situation, in that scenario, he was saying that the Lakers, and because of the Laker brand and who the Lakers are, they're forcing him to not take the easy road or to take the road that he needs to in order to learn certain things, in a sense. And that's what I took from it. Those were his comments. That you can look that
I was
up.
like this. I was scratching my head on that. I had no freaking clue what he was talking about.
I don't really understand the analogy.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Are the Mavericks perceived as a coddle you kind of team?
According to him.
Right, but according to him, but I haven't heard that.
But also, I think he probably he's still a little butthurt about, when they traded him or let him go away.
That's probably too.
Yeah, maybe that's the root of this.
Some remaining effects of that. Yeah, I thought that was weird. I'm like, well, let's look at it, dude. The Mavericks are definitely in a better spot than the Lakers are right now. Now, I know, and you also saying that partially because you home, and you've always dreamed of playing for the Lakers too, which is cool. So I add that in there as well.
Where the Mavs just added somebody too, who didn't they? They traded for P.J. Washington.
P.J. Washington.
Yeah.
They got him in Charlotte.
That's not a bad addition to that,
Nah,
to that
P.J.
group. I think
Washington's a nice
that'd be
piece.
a nice fit for them, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He compliments Luka and Kyrie pretty well.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's cool. Other splash deadlines, the Buddy Hield trade was really the only one that I kind of saw.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was kind of your big splash move. That was Buddy Hield to the Sixers, Marcus Morris to the Spurs. And he's
that's going to be interesting.
Well, he's expected to negotiate a buyout with San Antonio, and he's leaning toward joining the
Minnesota.
Timberwolves, according to reports, which is weird because they gave Marcus Morris the key to Philadelphia a month ago.
Well, he's from Philly.
I know. They gave him the key to the city, and then they were like, bye.
Well, hell, Daryl Morey
changed locks.
Daryl Morey told Pat Bev after he asked, "Hey, am I going to get traded?" No, you're not going to get traded.
Oh, and then he
found out he was traded.
He got his ass.
That means you're getting traded. Anytime a GM says, "Oh no, you're not going to get traded," you're getting traded.
No, we love you here, man. No, your teammates love you. You're a real guy.
But here's the funny thing: Pat Bev should be happy.
Pack his bag.
In a better situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you on a championship. Not with Embiid being hurt. That's kind of suspect. But you over there with one of the greatest players to play the game. You should be happy.
Yeah.
It was funny to see Pat Bev pull the clipboard out of Doc Rivers' hands in the timeout the other night. Was like, give me that damn clipboard.
Yeah.
In the middle of a timeout. I was like, well, that's Pat Bev. Welcome to the game.
I'd have been like, yo, security, get his ass up out of here.
Oh.
I'm like, I hate it that's the one thing with me as a player or a coach. I'm like, you never disrupt unless the coach asks you something to draw the play up for me. Draw the play up that they run. Like, let me show you what they're going to run. Then it's different. But other than that, no, don't snatch shit out of my hand. I'm a coach right here. You're undermining my authority.
Yeah.
I don't know if Doc cared, though. I think Doc's just doing his best to hang on.
Well, they haven't looked the best since Doc took over.
No, they really haven't.
Hey, come on, let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that.
He want to talk about it.
They won, what? Was it 2-3 nights ago they won? Or was it the first win as a Buck?
Now, if I'm Adam, meaning Adam Silver, I'm like going to them like, yo, they're not the coaches of the All-Star team. Nope. Let's go down. Let's defer someone else because this is not the staff.
Right.
And I like Doc. He's a cool dude, but man, I don't think he's the answer for the Bucks because when we have the last time we talked about Doc Rivers being a defensive coach, never. So it's just like
last time Doc Rivers came up on the show, we had Josh Smith.
Shut your bum ass up, man.
Telling him to shut his bum ass up. That's where that came from.
But here's the thing, though. But I just feel I don't think the Bucks, they lost a lot. They lost a lot when they lost they heart and soul and Holiday. So you cannot replace that with that's no disrespect to Dame, but there's certain attributes certain players bring to teams and the defensive prowess that Holiday brings and the way he commands a court, a locker room, and a bench, this is sorely missed by them.
Yeah. But even going back to the Buddy Hield trade, that would be a piece. And I know the Lakers be connected to everybody that's on the move, but a while back it was them, really being connected to Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. But Buddy Hield, I don't know why they
didn't do that one.
Boy, you talking about the shooting that you need? Oh my
and the defense,
God!
2 great shot blockers on one court. Oh my goodness!
Because you always talk about LeBron driving and kicking out. Like, imagine LeBron driving and kicking out to Buddy Hield in the corner or at the elbow or something like that. Bro, come on. Like, shooters, this is a league where guys can continue to make 10 to 15 million at the least just because they know how to shoot. Buddy Hield going to be making good money for a long time.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, we got a couple more NBA stories. We're going to give out Big Shot of the Week, and then we'll play our game. Last couple more here. More than any week that I can remember, I've seen conversations about Trae Young's future in Atlanta. More than ever, which is wild to me, and I think it all has to just stem from the fact that DeJounte Murray didn't move at the deadline. Because now it's all about, the Lakers are in on Trae Young. Trae Young, he's looking at the Lakers are looking at Trae Young. Who the hell were the other 3, Dave? There are 2 other names that popped up this week. Donovan Mitchell and Kyrie Irving. Which Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, we've been talking about for, I feel like, 2.5 years.
Since LeBron got there.
Exactly. But Trae Young, with his future in question now all of a sudden in Atlanta, I don't necessarily buy this, but it was all over the place this week.
Nah, he I see him asking out some point in time next season, maybe next offseason. I don't see Trae Young fulfilling his extension as an Atlanta Hawk. I don't. Because at some point in time, you got to get to a point where he's going to look around and say, it's just not going to happen. And he may want to go somewhere where he feels as though he has a chance to win now. He's supposed to be the guy that helps get this thing over the top. And management ain't really made any moves. I mean, I know they made the DeJounte move, but those two together have not really helped propel to get this thing over the top. I expect him to ask for an out at some point in time, probably next offseason.
When is his contract up?
So he's in his extension now. I think his contract is up 26, 27.
Okay, so he's going to have to ask out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm management and I'm Atlanta, he ain't got to ask out because I'm trading his ass as soon as the offseason's up.
Yeah, I think once you get a little rumbling.
Yeah, because for me, I look at what happened with the coach situation, the little, before they fired Nate, and I look at things like that. And then I look at, I'm looking at, and you do a deep dive, like efficient. Who's more efficient, him or Murray? I think Murray is more efficient because he gives you more on the defensive end. He's more of a team player. He makes people around him better.
You said Jamal Murray?
No.
DeJounte.
DeJounte. I thought we were talking about comparing between.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about his teammate. I'm talking about his teammate.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, who has more value, sort of say? I'm saying Trae has more value than Murray. I'm getting rid of Trae because I think I could add pieces that's going to make everybody on this team happy. I don't care what guys say. When you watch Atlanta, it's like when Trae takes those shots, it's a lot of bad body language. When you watch them, the guys aren't happy with his shots. So even though he makes them, but in the day, you're like, that's a bad shot. He made it. Okay, I'm good with it. And I just think that as management goes, if you want to be successful, he's not Steph Curry. He can't do the thing Steph Curry. I am getting rid of him. I'm using him. I'm getting me some picks. I'm getting me some guys who can play. And I can mesh together and make a better team. I just don't. That's what I'm doing because I love Murray as a player. Mm-hmm. I would keep him and get rid of Trae.
Here's the thing: when it comes to the asking price for Murray was out of this world because of what the Hawks gave up to get him, which is the reason why they couldn't trade him at the deadline because obviously there was no offer that was good enough for the Hawks to pull the trigger. You talk about trading Trae. They're going to be asking for a ton more.
The sun, the moon, and the stars.
Yeah, and here's the issue with this. I know there are a lot of officials and GMs around the league who probably are not – no, Trae is talented, but they're probably not that very fond of Trae Young. And they're not willing to – some gyms weren't even willing to give up what they wanted for Murray. They're not going to be anywhere near willing to give up what the Hawks are going to be asking for Trae Young. It's going to be very difficult for the Hawks to get the return that they want if and when they're willing to trade Trae Young. It's going to – if I'm the Lakers, ain't no way in hell I give up 3 or 4 first-round picks for Trae Young. No.
And that's the asking price, by the way. I think
no.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Not for him.
But I'm just saying, though, if I'm getting rid of him and getting me some pieces, because who say you can't do a 3 or 4 team deal? But also, we forget about the new rule that's coming in, too, the new trade rule.
Which one is that?
Where you can't take 3 players to equal one guy's salary.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be similar salary. So I don't know when that's going to go into effect or not, but they better do it soon if it goes into effect immediately after the season's over.
And what the Lakers also have to look at is, I believe LeBron has an option for next season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, because he's coming, that's their option, a 2-year, $99 million contract. So, therefore, you got to still determine what you're going to do with LeBron and how long he's going to want to move forward with the Lakers before you even start thinking about trades that you're going to make in the offseason. Because let's say you keep LeBron, Trae Young does not fit with LeBron. I'm sorry. He just
LeBron
doesn't.
be cussing him out.
he gonna take him and throw him all around that floor. And so if it's just,
let's be honest though, how many people does Trae fit with though?
Well, I think he does fit with AD. He fits with AD just because when Trae gets in the lane, defenders are gonna have to make a choice. Do you defend Trae's floater or do you defend the lob to AD? So he works well with the big man that knows how to move. And I think him with AD, obviously, that would have been the greatest big man he's ever, played with from an offensive and even defensive perspective. So I think he works well with AD, but if LeBron is still there, I don't think he works well with him.
Last story before we do Big Shot in our game. What you think of the Kobe statue? Kobe statue was unveiled.
I loved it.
Last week it was him pointing up after the 81 points.
Yep.
Vanessa said, if you don't like the statue, he picked it. So tough shit.
Yeah.
Because this was Kobe's pick.
And
so
Nike made a hoodie for her saying that. Now everybody wants that hoodie. Like she put it on Instagram like, Nike, you got to make more. We want one. It's a nice hoodie. It's a nice hoodie.
Yeah.
One, by the way, the first of 3 Kobe statues that will go outside crypto. It's getting crowded out there, man. Jeez.
Well, they're closing the street off. So I wonder if they're gonna put some in the street.
They may have to at this point. I mean, you got 6. Kobe was the 6th or 7th.
You know what? I was hoping they was gonna do this, but I know they do a lot of activities over there. I forget what it's called. Across the street, they have that little
like a park area or whatever it is.
Park area. Yeah. I was hoping they would do all 3 over there, because that statue is huge. So once that one, they ain't gonna be able to move it again. So I'm very interested where they're gonna put them, because like you said, it's running out of space.
Yeah. So
I think they should put the Gigi Kobe one over there and put it over there and let because that's more of a family oriented space.
Sure.
So put it over there.
I thought they were gonna put it, from what I read, and maybe I misunderstood based off what I was reading. I thought they were gonna put all 3 in the same vicinity and gonna call that area the house that Kobe built.
Yeah, that's what they planned to. But I was just saying though.
Okay.
Because it's going to get crowded over there.
Well, hey, that's a good problem.
Crowded in general, man. Y'all got freaking. You got Magic, you got Shaq, you got Kareem,
right?
You got Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Chick Hearn.
So, who do you think if out of everybody who's played in Staples / crypto? Mm-hmm. Well, we know you can't count the Clippers. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is going to be the next statue out there?
Out of that's playing right now?
No, just in played.
General?
Just in general.
Next Lakers statue.
No, just statue, because you got Wayne. I think you got Wayne Gretzky out there. You got some hockey players.
I wasn't even
so you think it's
about
going to be you're going to be hockey or basketball?
If that's the case, I would have to go. I don't think it's any coming from behind right now. But if I had to guess and go out on a very, very shaky limb, I think the only person else you could put out there is LeBron.
See,
and I don't think he gets one.
I'm gonna give this credit to James Worthy. James Worthy.
I was just
really
about to say
point.
that. I feel like
no. James, not James.
Oh, not James.
Lisa Leslie.
Oh, that's a good one.
When James brought that up, I'm like,
that's a really good one.
Wow, she did kill it for the Sparks.
All right, James has got a
point.
Are
they willing to do that though?
James popped into my head though.
Yeah, James popped in my head too. But when he talked about Lisa Leslie, I'm like, oh damn, they should, because
that's a really good
stuff she did for the Sparks.
You're right,
and it would be really great for WNBA and women's basketball.
To have a woman's statue. He's right.
He's totally right.
Would they ever put a coach out there?
Oh yeah, because Phil.
Think about Phil.
Phil.
Yeah. I don't know.
Would they ever put a coach out there?
Let me ask you a question. Are there a lot of coaches? Statues NBA wise, because I know the Braves have a Bobby Cox one across the street.
Yeah, we do.
But Bobby was the manager of the Braves for freaking ever. 25 seasons.
Only college football makes coaches a statue.
Yeah, and did the Nick Saban one out in Alabama.
And I know the NBA is a players' league, but you're talking about legendary.
But if you put Phil, though, don't you have to put Pat Riley first?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You probably got to do both of them.
Hey, you know what they need to do? They need to put Phil and Pat next.
Oh, did we lose you?
It's a Chick. They sitting in chairs next to Chick. That's what they should do.
I would like that.
Did you hear me? I said they should put Phil and Phil and Pat Riley next to Chick. He's interviewing him at his spot. That'd be cool.
You're right. Y'all ain't got no room. Ain't no room out there. You gonna have no walking room. Everywhere somebody turn, they bump it into a statue.
Turn that street into just statue space at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna give them to coaches, eventually I figured, are there any in San Antonio? Because I feel like Pop's got to get one. If there's a coach that deserves a statue,
he should get one.
I feel like Pop's got to get one.
He should get one. He should get one. David should really get one, because David set the mold.
Do they have any out there?
I don't think so. I don't think Pop gives a shit about stuff like that. Because we don't even know how long they're going to be at the SBC or AT&T or whatever that little place is called out there. So,
but like Tim and David, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. If you're going to put any out there, you got to have the Admiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you have to have Tim Duncan. I mean, and Pop. I don't know. There's not a lot of NBA coaches. I don't know if any have a statue.
They should just do that one with David, Pop, and Tim are hugging when they won the championship in '99, and just put that one statue out there, call it a day.
That was at David's last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. It was David's last season. All right, let's do Big Shot of the Week. Then we're going to play our game. Big Shot of the Week is going to go to there were a few candidates this week, but I'm giving it to the Los Angeles Fire Department. Did you see the viral video this week of them pulling that guy and his dog out of the river? During all the crazy rain and the flooding, they had flown a chopper over the Los Angeles River, and a firefighter got on the little harness, and they lowered his ass into this raging river to pull out a dude and his dog that got caught up in all of the flooding and the stream and stuff, and they saved both of them. They got them both out of there in the middle of some of the craziest weather Southern California's had in a long time. I thought that was just a cool rescue, and that video was everywhere.
It's a cool rescue, and I know half the time these firefighters be like, "What your dumb ass doing out here? Don't you see the reports with it? Then you know it's gonna be bad. Now I got to come save your crazy ass."
Yeah,
but yeah, I love it. We got to think about all these firefighters who put their lives at risk just to save people or fight fires,
and it's so many different ways too.
Yes.
I mean, going into a burning house, lowering yourself from a helicopter into a river. To save one guy and his dog in the midst of all that craziness, I just thought that was cool. So just big shot of the week to the LA Fire Department because that was cool.
Yeah.
Good rescue, but, I mean, like you said, Rob, they don't get enough credit. All right, this week's game is called Broken Hearted. Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Can I get this on a loop? Let me see if I can get this on a loop here. Let's go. There you go. So Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Let me start this game by asking you, Rob, what are you doing for the missus for Valentine's Day?
I don't believe in Valentine's Day.
You don't, or y'all don't?
I don't.
So does your wife believe in Valentine's Day?
She does, so I have to do stuff for her. But I don't believe in Valentine's Day because every day with me is like Valentine's Day because you just don't wait one day to say thank you to your spouse.
You're right.
Another. So I kind of do stuff for my wife throughout the year, not just Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day is like a day out. But I also believe like every year you got to one up the next year, I feel like. So you get caught, man. Like if you give your wife, let's say a diamond ring, next year it got to be a diamond earring, diamond bracelet, and it just keeps going up. I know you stay low and keep it to a minimum, just dinner and flowers and candy and stuff like that, and do the same. But that gets a little bit redundant after a while. So I just don't believe in Valentine's Day. I just think it's a ruse for some woman somewhere created it so they can get extra shit. Because men don't get a damn thing.
Wow. You went right to some woman created it for extra shit. Not some guy created it to make money, but some woman created it. She wants more shit. Good for you.
Bro.
Good for you.
I agree with you on a lot of... no, hold on. Wait a minute. I don't have any issue with Valentine's Day.
Talk to me, single man. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't have any issue with Valentine's Day, but I do agree that a lot of people do put a lot of emphasis on it, and sometimes they do forget about the other things that happen throughout the year.
Exactly.
Boy, when you said you don't,
but she does.
But she does. Oh boy, I didn't know. I was gonna tell you to start. I was gonna duck for you because I ain't know if she's around or behind the door listening.
She's gonna come crawling in behind that door again, like.
No, she knows. I've always said this from the moment we met. I was like, I'm not a big on Valentine's Day. You know, sometimes you gotta stick to your guns, man.
Yeah.
You gotta stick to your guns.
But you do stuff anyway, though.
Yeah, I do stuff anyway, just because it's nice to do stuff.
So what do you have planned? That was the original question.
I work tomorrow. The Lakers play tomorrow. I work.
That's right.
But I am taking the dinner the next night, though.
Okay.
But
so
we never said we.
But that,
we have a
but that
tradition
counts.
that we do. Yeah, we don't ever do it on Valentine's Day.
Oh no, you can't go out to dinner on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
no, you can't go out to dinner on Valentine's Day.
Sure, you can.
But she don't get. Hey, she don't get.
Everybody's
no
out
presents.
there. Freaking everybody's out there, man. It's madness. It's a madhouse.
I get it's a madhouse, but See, this is why I've always
See, if you've been together long enough, now let me. I've been married for 16 years. Okay, celebrating my 17th wedding anniversary this July. We never go out on Valentine's Day. We will have a Valentine's dinner, but it's always like the week before or the week after, because Valentine's Day itself is amateur hour. Everybody who's trying to get laid is out there at dinner, just trying to jewelry and flowers and candy and dinners and all that stuff, and we're just like, we'll go next week. Let's leave us alone. We'll go next week.
See,
we're fine.
And that's cool. Like you said, y'all been married for a while. This is the way I've always, or not, I've seen it in a sense of how people have talked about it. If you're taking somebody out the day before Valentine's Day, some people, women start to think that, it's somebody else that you're taking on Valentine's Day. And if you're taking, and you decide to take her on the day after Valentine's Day, well, what were you doing on Valentine's Day and who were you with? So some women, if it's on those bookend days, some women think, well, you're dealing with somebody other than me. They look at those as the side chick days because you're not doing it on the day of. That's not me. That's what I've heard.
Hey, all you gotta do is just, I'm cooking dinner for you. We gonna stay in the house, and that way you just say, okay, I ain't with nobody. I think we go out to dinner the next night. That's how you solve that problem.
Okay. Who are you with on Valentine's Day? Rob's like, James Worthy. Leave me alone.
You saw me on TV.
Saw me. James puts out. All right. All right. So here's how the game works. I'm gonna give you a broken-hearted sports scenario. We'll see if you guys can guess the answer to these questions. Some of these are gonna be easy. Some of them you may not know. Let's start with Rob. The Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls in the 1990s. But it was Scott Norwood's 47-yard missed field goal in the closing seconds of Super Bowl 25 that leaves Buffalo Bills fans brokenhearted forever. Who won that game?
Oh, shit.
Scott Norwood misses the infamous field goal. Buffalo's crushed.
Patriots.
Harp.
Not the Super Bowl.
Harp. Who won that game? Do you know?
Scott Norwood.
Scott Norwood missed the kick. They lose 20-19 in Super Bowl 25 to what team?
25. Was that the Giants?
It was the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Good job. Yeah, they lost to the Giants. Yeah.
Why do I think it was the Patriots in those the white, red and white and blue uniforms? I don't know.
Because the Giants have the same colorway, but it couldn't be the Patriots because those are 2 AFC teams.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta have NFC, AFC in the Super Bowl.
All right, Hard Dog.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I have no clue in football who's on what side.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's what because there's too many like even with I only know basketball because I fucking it's
you
easy.
played the game.
On the east side, you on the west side. It's easy.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you played in the league, so you paid maybe like a little bit more attention.
Right.
It's easier this way though. You know?
Harp Dog, 2003. The Chicago Cubs were 5 outs away from going to their first World Series since 1945 when a Walkman-wearing fan named Steve Bartman reached over the wall to interfere with a ball in play. He cost the Cubs the out and turned the game and the series. Who won that series and eventually won the World Series? In 2003.
So 03. I think I know.
Steve Bartman game.
Yeah.
Goes down in Cubs history.
Damn it. So I think I know who eventually won the World Series. I forget who won that.
It was the same team they were playing in the NLCS.
Oh. Was it the Marlins?
It was the Florida Marlins.
Yeah.
Before they were the Miami Marlins. Steve Bartman reaches over the wall, and I think it was I can't remember who the hell it was, but interfered with the ball in Moises Alou.
Moises Alou. That's exactly what
interfered with the ball in play.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is the nicest freaking guy. Cause I met him when he played with the Astros. He is so
Moises
nice.
Alou? Yeah. I mean, he was. But I'll tell you what, he was fired up, man. He was screaming and pointing at Bartman in the stands, and that poor man's life was ruined after that. All right.
That's a good doc to watch, too.
Oh, the Bartman story? Holy cow. What a great... Well, I've watched it, too. It's really good. All right. We all remember, Rob, the Chris Webber timeout that wasn't a timeout. In 1993, the NCAA National Championship game, leaving Michigan fans brokenhearted because the Fab Five went to 2 title games, didn't win either of them. Who won the game where Chris Webber called the timeout that wasn't a timeout?
I remember this because that was actually, it wasn't 1993, it was 1992, wasn't it?
No, it was 1993. I mean, it was the 1992 season, In 92-93.
I thought it was my senior year because game was in Minnesota, right?
That might have been the year before.
Carolina.
The timeout that wasn't a timeout was 93, and that was North Carolina. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, it was. They did lose
because I thought that was a team. I thought that was his freshman year, right?
Weber,
or was it sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Because it was the second time they went.
Okay, all
right. B-Dog. Mm-hmm. I know Rob knows the answer to this.
Yeah, he know the answer to this.
Rob's Houston Rockets swept Shaq in the Magic in the 1995 Finals, leaving Orlando Magic fans brokenhearted to this day. Largely due to what player missing 4 straight free throws at the end of a game?
And I remember seeing this in the doc. And I can't remember his
4
name.
in a row.
And Rob knows
I think it was game 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang.
I can't think of his name right now either.
Oh, no!
It's game 1. Yeah.
It was game 1 of the NBA Finals.
I can't think of his name right now.
They were trailing, I think, by 1 point.
Who, us?
No, the Magic were.
We were down.
I'm trying to remember how it worked out.
No, Magic were up 2.
You're right. And he missed 4 in a row.
No, Magic
they were up 3.
They were up 3.
And he missed 4 in a row.
I can't.
Okay, it just came to me.
I can't remember.
Hey, he played at Georgia Tech. I'm gonna help you out. All right, well, time's up.
Yeah.
Listen to you calling the time. Time's up.
Nick Anderson.
It was Nick Anderson.
Wasn't Nick Anderson their first draft pick when they expanded?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was when they expanded.
He?
Yeah, and I knew it was the first draft, but I couldn't remember.
Okay. All right, Rob. The 49ers fans were heartbroken this year. But in 1990, they had a lot to celebrate as they routed their Super Bowl 24 opponent 55-10. What broken-hearted team did they destroy in the Super Bowl?
In 1990?
Yeah, they destroyed somebody 55-10. It was a team that had been there a couple times before.
I'm gonna just say Buffalo.
No, one of the Bills. No.
I think I know.
Do you know?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Broncos.
It was the Denver Broncos, who did the same thing as the Bills, went to 4 Super Bowls, didn't win any of them. But it was, they just eviscerated.
Until Peyton got there.
Yeah, well, Von Miller won that Super Bowl, let's be honest. All right, I think this is for Harp Dog here. The Miracle on Ice is the biggest upset in sports history, leaving the Russians brokenhearted after Team USA found a way to defeat the Soviets in 1980. Arguably the greatest upset of all time. What was the final score of the Miracle on Ice?
Was it 3-2?
It was not.
Oh, sorry.
Rob.
2-1.
Oh, it was 4-3. 4-3 the USA.
Because they won. Didn't they win on a penalty?
Bunch of freaking communists on this
Was
show.
Hey, no, it's a bunch of black guys on the show.
Oh, yeah, what am I talking about? Hockey and black people? What am I doing here? Yeah, that's right. Sorry. I'm bringing up hockey during Black History Month. This is on me. This is on me.
Yeah. It ain't but about 2 or 3 of them.
Hey, that had to be the funniest thing that Kelsey's ever said, though.
What?
They talked about the fade.
Oh, the boost.
He's like, how y'all gonna hit me with that?
Yeah.
The fade on the first day of Black History Month. Are you crazy?
Come on, man.
You are definitely not the creator of that.
All right. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I know everyone's going to have a guess, but I don't know if anyone remembers the specifics on this. Knicks-Pacers, best rivalry of the 90s. One of the best rivalries of the 90s. The Knicks were forever heartbroken after Reggie Miller scored 8 points at the end of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. How many seconds did it take him to score the 8 points? Do you guys know? You remember, Rob? This was the game where him and Spike Lee were jawing at each other.
And he gave Spike the...
the choke.
That's when he did Spike like this.
Yeah.
It was...
Wasn't it like 2 seconds?
It was,
no, 8 points. He scored 8 points.
It's like 11 seconds.
It wasn't
like 11 seconds?
How many seconds did it take him? It wasn't 2?
No, you can't score 8 points in 2 seconds.
Sure you can.
Inbound foul.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was... He shoot with 11 seconds?
No.
Was it 9?
Okay, she should know you got the answer in front of you.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known this. I probably would have guessed closer to where Rob was.
What was it?
18 seconds.
Oh.
18.7 seconds. He scored 8
One of them shouldn't have counted because he traveled his ass off.
Well,